Have you ever stopped to think about why Mr. K was captured and tortured by the FIB and the IAA, and why all this madness that happened to him is never really explained in the game? In this video, I will explain to you most likely what happened to this guy in the GTA 5 campaign, why he was captured, and even worse, I will show you that this was also based on a real story. Rockstar doesn't miss the opportunity to put references to real things in the game, of course making several similarities and not making it 100% the same, but yes, this was inspired by a real story. So stick with me in this video until the end and then you tell me what you think, because this video is sensational, okay?
So, let's start the video. Wait, what just happened to my voice?
Oh, I fixed it. Now it's actually me.
I can sound like this too.
Or like this.
Or even a weak, completely ridiculous voice.
The truth is, everything you've heard up until now, it was me talking. I just changed my voice in real time using Ease's VoiceWave. Ease's VoiceWave is a real-time voice changer made for gamers, streamers, and content creators.
This is one of the family voice.
This one is a male voice.
And this is a completely different one.
All of this works in real time. There's no lag, you don't need any complicated setup. Just open the program, pick a voice, and you're good to go. It works on Discord, it works on OBS, it even works during calls. And yes, you can test it out for free. It's a direct download, install it, open it, pick a voice, and it just works. I left an exclusive link in the description. By using that link, you can download Ease's VoiceWave at a discount. There's a special offer only through that link. The link is right down below. Starting from the beginning, let's explain who this character really is, what he was doing here, and other things. This character's name is Ferdinand Karimov. He lives in Morningwood, Los Santos. He lives with his family and works as a home theater technician. His clients include a neighbor of Michael's, who is one that we go near where a series is being recorded during the By the Book mission, and also a businessman named Tahir Javan. Besides Mr. K, there is a fundamental part that you also need to understand to know what is happening in the game at this moment. About 10 videos ago, 5 videos, I don't remember exactly, I posted a video about the complete story of GTA 5 with details, and in this video we see that there is an internal war within government agencies between the IAA and the EFIB, including a radio audio from Weasel News about the subject.
The funding war between security agencies rages in the capital.
The funding war between IAA and FIB intensifies after Congress promised to slash spending and both agencies recommend it's the other one.
And all this war happens because of just one thing: funding. They all want more money to be able to work, hire more people, or simply inflate their salaries, among several other things, and Mr. K, he is caught in the middle of all this mess. We can see in some missions further ahead in the mission Monkey Business that nothing promotes more funding against terrorism than terrorism itself. So in the mission Monkey Business, for those who didn't pay attention, we find ourselves in a situation where we as the wrong people have to go there and defeat the right people, which in this case are government agencies who are committing terrorism, so that with the act of terrorism they can get more funding.
Who the fuck are we saving it from this time?
This is the real deal. My sources are convinced there's a plot in international affairs, you know, the agency, and they're using this facility to make a serious nerve toxin.
Bullshit.
Yeah, which they plan in their mind-blowing insanity to let a major terrorist release on a metropolitan area so they can continue to get funding. Nothing increases funding for fighting terrorism more than successful acts of terrorism.
All right, so let me get this straight then.
No, there is no getting it straight. That's the point.
That is, the logic is as follows. If there is no terrorist, there is no need for counterterrorism funding to exist. So this terrorism, if it doesn't exist, needs to be invented in some way, and if it does exist, it needs to be found at any cost. It is precisely at this moment in the story that Mr. K is captured. The IAA suspects a terrorist within GTA 5, and the IAA hopes that there is indeed a terrorist for the reason I just mentioned. The terrorist they are looking for is Tahir Javan. Tahir Javan is a very wealthy guy, a businessman who lives in Chumash and throws many parties and such, and he's a guy who comes from Azerbaijan. Mr. K, on the other hand, is a guy who has done jobs for him, setting up home theater and all the stuff he does and so on. What's the deal? The first thing is, the IAA doesn't know who Tahir Javan is, otherwise they would go straight to him. So the only thing they know is that Mr. K has a potential connection to a terrorist, but they don't know who. Since the IAA is in conflict with the FIB, obviously they will do everything to try to find out if this guy is really a terrorist or not before the FIB, and if he's he's not really, they will try to make it look like he was. So that's where all the scheming begins. In the first mission where we get involved in this story is the mission Dead Man Walking, where Dave, who works for the FIB, wants to investigate what the agency is up to. They know there's something, that the IAA has some information about terrorism, and the FIB also wants that information.
I found the toe tag. Ferdinand Karimov. It's on some big black lady. Definitely not your guy.
Okay. The agency have the lower floors on lockdown to prevent a leak.
It is at this moment that Michael enters the morgue looking for who would be Mr. K, who is already dead. The guy is already out of the system. He had already been captured by the IAA. When we enter the morgue, we find out that Ferdinand Karimov is labeled as someone else, and with that, we are sure that something fishy is going on. Since this guy wasn't found there, the suspicion of the FIB increases a lot more on top of that, right? Like, if the IAA went through the trouble to pick up and hide this guy, take him out of the system, he has some information. That's where the mission takes place, where we rescue this guy straight from the IAA building where he is being interrogated by Karen Daniels, where we have to do an extraction. Really, during basically a psychological torture session that Mr. K is going through, he's getting beaten up by the people there and being interrogated non-stop to find out what he was up to. While he was 100% just telling the truth, he was really innocent. After successfully extracting him, he believes he will be freed when in fact he is captured by the FIB agents, and that's where he really screws up once and for all. The whole mess gets much more intense. Why? The IAA was after him because they believed he had some kind of connection to a potential terrorist. As for the FIB, they had no clue. That's where the biggest screw up is. All they want to know is what Mr. K told the IAA, and like, they're not specific. You can see that all of Steve Haynes' questions are very open-ended, you know, like, what did you tell them? I want to know what they know, things like that. They don't really have a goal to accomplish. After several torture sessions and multiple questions, Mr. K ends up revealing who his client is, right? If they had been specific, he would have talked right away. It's a guy who fits the profile of a possible terrorist. He's from Azerbaijan, he's got a lot of money, and like, he fits the profile of a terrorist or of applying terrorism in some way. That's what they say, right? Not me. And for them, it's enough to kill a guy and say they killed a terrorist, because that will increase their funding. And all this in the end boils down to just one thing: increasing funding for themselves. Basically, with the FIB presenting a report that they killed a possible terrorist, and with that they get an increase in their funding so they can simply keep working. While Mr. K, who was a guy who didn't know anything, he is 100% innocent. And then you might think, man, it doesn't make sense, right? I think this mission was kind of nonsensical. Why would anyone in their right mind do that to another person? That's where you're wrong. This mission, it was based on a true story. Obviously not 100%, but yes, it was based on a true story of a guy named Murat Kurnaz. This guy was a young Turkish German who was arrested in a war like hidden there, launched by the United States after the 9/11 attacks back in 2001, during a trip to Pakistan for a religious study. This guy, Kurnaz, was detained at a road checkpoint like a blitz, accused without any evidence of being an enemy combatant, and was transferred to the American forces. This was the beginning of like almost 5 years of this guy's illegal detention, during which this guy was held first in a detention center in Afghanistan, and then later he was sent to a prison in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. During his captivity, he endured physical and psychological torture, isolation. He was subjected to relentless interrogations, all of this without formal charges or fair trial. Despite evidence of his innocence beginning to emerge in the early years of detention, the bureaucracy and political disputes among various US intelligence agencies, which is very similar, you see, to what happens within GTA 5, ended up delaying this guy's release. This guy, he was finally released in 2006 without ever being formally accused of any crime. How bizarre. So when you take a closer look at Mr. K's story in the game, it's eerily similar to the reality experienced by Murat Kurnaz. Both were detained under unfounded suspicions, immersed in a world of questionable legality, right? For sure, all methods there were illegal, subjected to torture and rigorous interrogations by government agencies. The rivalry between the FIB and the IAA within the game reflects the complexity and conflicts that exist between real intelligence agencies, which often have competing agendas, right? And prioritize obtaining information at any cost, even if it means violating some human rights and things like that. I remember when this game was released, this mission, it was heavily criticized. But if you stop to analyze, it's basically a reminder that things can't happen this way, in real life as well as in the game, right? This reference became very strong. Even if Rockstar is questioned about whether or not it has similarities with real life, they will never admit that they really based this guy, Murat Kurnaz, not to stir up trouble with the United States government. But it's obvious that, in a way, they are making a reference to it. And I think it leaves a little bit of the message that, like, human rights cannot be violated at all costs, right? Just behind funding or anti-terrorism research, you have to make sure before trying to do anything. And of course, you have to respect human rights within that. This mission, for those who don't know the story behind it, gives off a vibe of torture, like a very heavy mission. But for those who already know this story, it now gives a feeling like a reminder that this is something that should not be done at all. And about Mr. K, even though he is an innocent guy, he is a guy who got caught in the middle of a mess between two government agencies who were after funding at all costs. Worse, his fate was the same as Tahir Javan's fate, who was most likely just a businessman, had nothing to do with terrorism, and ended up being killed. And in a way, this is the summary of what happened around these characters here in GTA 5. There is a network of hidden subplots complexity in various parts of the GTA 5 campaign. If you want to understand the GTA 5 story in detail, understanding various complexities and connections, click here next to the yellow arrow to be redirected to this video of the complete GTA 5 story. I can say with 100% certainty that this video will blow your mind. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Until the next video then, take care and peace out.